Hello?
Hey, Fatima. Oh. Hey, I hear you.
Hello?
Hi, Fatima.
Tabata?
Hey, sis, I'm on here.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I see Hala's on here, but Hala, your mic is not connected.
Did you change my name?
Yeah, I put you as host.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
We have here. My name's Ali. I'm from SAC, Sudani American Collective, and I am part of Sudan is Safe. So
Hi. Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too. Which group are you
My
from?
name is Fatima, and I'm from SDN.
Oh, nice. Where do you live in the States or are you outside of America?
I'm from the UK.
Oh, okay. Nice.
You sounded so disappointed.
No. It's funny because when I was asking it, I was like, I'm pretty sure she's from the UK, but I don't want to assume. So
He was like, oh, okay.
I was like, oh, she's a Brit. She's one of those.
Oh, what does that mean?
No, trust me, not coming from me. I love English football. That's all I do. So I
Before I
appreciate
can
you
decide
guys.
if we're gonna be friends, what
Well,
team do you support?
all right. Oh, this is a very important question, Bismillah. Okay. I
It's me,
am.
Fabri.
You will never walk alone.
Okay, all right. That's a great answer. Great answer.
You too?
I mean, I lived in Liverpool for like a year, and then I
Okay.
became a Liverpool supporter. You know.
Hey, okay.
But like, I'm not like a ride or die fan or anything like that. But if I had to choose one, it would be them.
But you're not like a Man U fan or anything, so we're good.
Oh no. Yeah. We good.
Nice. That's funny. SubhanAllah, there's so many like Liverpool fans in this like SDN and all these groups that we're talking to. There's Amrul also, he's a Liverpool fan. I don't know if you know him.
Amro is he's in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Amro loves Liverpool, man. I keep sending him videos of when I was there, and there'd be a match on because the atmosphere would be amazing.
How's
Yeah, but I never made it to Anfield, man.
Yeah, Ala too. Yep. She's a Liverpool fan.
At least we've all got something in common. Is it just one person joining us from each initiative, each org?
Wallahi, I'm not sure. I think Marek might know.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmah.
Hello, hello. How's it going, guys?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear. Who's this?
Okay, hala. Oh, hi.
Salam. Hello, how's it
Alaikum
going?
assalam wa rahmah. Hi.
Good? How's it going?
Good, it's all right. How are you?
Yeah. All good, man. We're just hungry on this side, man. You know how it is.
So what time is this is going live in, or are we already live?
Yeah, we're already live.
Okay.
We're already live.
Yeah, never work with animals, children, or Sudanese is the moral to this story. Okay.
Oh, we're good. So I think we're just waiting for Mohammed from Philaha. And so we've got, that's Sir Mo, right? Sir Mo's in the house.
Sir Mo's brother. I'm Ali.
Ali, how you doing, man? You good?
Alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm good, bro. MashaAllah, you guys look alike.
Yeah, we do. I get that. I get that often. You just missed our Kuda talk. I know you're from the UK too, so we covered the EPL talk already.
Yeah, bro, the Premier League, fam. What team do you support?
Liverpool.
I'm curious.
Yeah. Next,
that's a separate discussion we're gonna have to take offline, man.
Khalas, we'll take that one after.
That's great. We've just been joined by Mohammed Al.
Yep. Hello.
Mohammed, how's it going?
All going good. How you doing, guys? Sorry for the no video, by the way, because the internet, Sudan.
We get the struggle.
Yeah.
We understand the struggle, man.
I'm glad you guys do.
Yeah, it's great to have. I think is that everyone Tabarak, or we're waiting on one more person, I think.
Let's do our roll check. YFCD.
Hi.
Yep.
Sudan Nassif.
Yep, right here.
SDN, right here. Villa Hart.
Yep.
And University or the Student Initiative.
That's it. So it's Russia. Okay. So I'll drop her a quick text. She might have a few minutes, please.
Mohammed Mustafa's on the call.
Yep.
Yep.
Hi, Mohammed.
Hey, Fatima. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, going good, wallahi. How is everything?
Good. I didn't realize because it says Mohammed Abu Bakr or something.
Oh, yeah. That's my last name. Is everyone here?
Mohammed,
Just
the little
waiting for
left
Russia.
What?
I'm wearing a abaya.
Well, I was about to comment on that, but then I decided not to. But since you brought it up, khalas.
We're not doing this today, okay?
Yeah.
You said that like you don't usually wear an abaya, or?
Nah, man. Mohammed always rips me for abayas for some reason.
Okay. So you do wear it usually, or you don't wear it?
Nah, I just had to do a quick errand, and then abaya was the closest thing,
Yeah, smash and grab. Where are you?
I'm in Leeds.
Oh, Leeds, my old hometown.
What? No way.
Yeah, I studied there, lived there for years, still have a house there.
Do you ever come up?
Wow.
I'm guessing you're in
No.
London, right?
Yeah. No, but I mean, well, I'm not going anywhere at the moment, Rona.
Right.
But yeah, we can have this conversation. Like, I'm kind of conscious that like the whole world is like live to this, and we're just sat here.
Are we live on YouTube now?
Yeah,
We are, yeah.
But
Yeah.
this will all get deleted and
Edited and stuff. We're just going to jump on the live quickly, Tabarak, to just try and get more people in the account. And Russia is going to dial in the next few minutes if she hasn't already.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll start in the next 5 minutes, guys.
Okay, great.
perfect.
Good. Sounds good.
We can pick up the Leeds conversation after.
All right.
Or separately.
Okay, I must say, I don't like how Americans are not the majority here. Usually we're the majority, but it seems like all you guys are Brits. Everyone's
okay,
in
no,
the
no,
UK.
no.
It's
I'm
relaxed.
not. I'm from Sudan, yeah, man.
Mustafa is.
Oh,
100%.
Sudan. Hey, okay, خلاص انت معانا.
Tabarak is Arizona.
Yeah, it's just Tabarak and I. We're holding it down.
We're holding the US down. Good, Mohammed, your accent sounds British.
I get that a lot, but I don't know why.
I don't know
I've never been to the UK in my life. I was there when I was a little child just to visit, and I've never went again. I don't know why people think that I have a British accent, but it's really nice that people think that, you know.
I don't know why. Maybe I don't know if he sounds British to y'all, the actual
I can
British
hear it
people,
too.
but to me.
Oh, thanks, guys.
So Mandora is actually on the live on Sudan World. I just checked.
Did she not get back to you? I'll send it to you. But... Hey, Tabarak, where's the YouTube link? Because Mohammed was looking for it. I don't think he couldn't find it. Like, is it being sent somewhere or
I think it should be on the bio.
on SDN's bio?
SDN, yeah, on the link tree.
That's SDN's bio.
Oh, the Mohammed behind you.
Yeah, there's Mohammed right there.
Hey, I'll send it on our chat as well.
Yeah, it's in the bio, but I'll send it to you. Atma, would you happen to be related to Rona Al-Jak?
Yeah, I get that question so much.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't know who that is.
SubhanAllah. Yeah, we have friends. They live in the Imarat, and her name's Rona Al-Jak, so I figured maybe you guys were related.
Yeah, I actually didn't think it was a common surname until now.
Yeah, I didn't think there was another Al-Jak, but I guess there's two of you.
We out here. Yo, this really is Sudani timing.
Yeah, listen, I am just this is not kind of cool because we're like live, so
Yeah. Tabarak, it feels so good to see your face.
I know, like, I want to give you a hug.
A hug.
A hug.
I
Virtual
see you
hug.
distancing امبارح though. I see you.
No, wasn't in my control. I'm really excited for this panel. Should be really great, like connecting with you all, and inshallah, like everyone here is doing great work.
whose is that beep? Is that I'm like thinking, is that my fire alarm going off?
I can't hear
It's
it.
mine. It's mine. I thought I changed it.
Okay, you need to
changed it
change. You need to
recently.
fix that safety first and everything.
I'll make sure to.
Yeah, and anybody watching, if your alarm is also beeping, please check yours as well. Okay, safety first.
To be fair, mine had the energy to beep for the last 8 years. So it's been beeping.
Oh, it's just been beeping for the last 8 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
you need to get that fixed. You need to get some batteries so that it's safe and compliant. Where are you?
I'm in Arizona.
We're in Arizona. Okay. Well, the fire alarm, just to let you know, beep the same in the UK and the States, but yours is out of order, so you need to get that fixed.
Will do. That's my first action item after this.
Amazing. I'm happy about that. That's my good deed done today.
If you gain anything from this panel, it's that get your safety fire
first.
thingies fixed.
100%. 100%.
Yes, I feel it.
So, like, what I don't get though, like, it works perfectly fine. Like I'm saying, it has the energy to beep.
خلاص مالك.
Exactly. مش مزعجة.
Hello. Shabab,
Hello.
Hi.
how's it going, man?
Oh, good.
Back in the
Okay.
room.
Yes, sir. So Rashad just hit me up saying she had a few issues connecting. I think it's because you guys need VPN on Sudan side, huh?
Yep.
Yep. So she's currently doing that. I feel sorry for people on the Sudan side of things, man. It's like if you don't have VPN, you can't do anything.
يعطيك العافية يا مان. Thank you for يعني, like, for the support and everything. Oh no.
La, that's nice. It will change in the next few months, inshallah.
Hello.
Hopefully.
Hi.
And see that. See, there you go. There you go. Hey,
Hi.
Rasha, how you doing?
It works fine.
Great to have
I'm
you
good,
on
alhamdulillah.
here.
How are you guys? I'm so sorry I'm late. It's a pleasure. Like, the pleasure is all mine, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, the pleasure is ours, man. So yeah, Rasha, it's great to have you in this panel and in the house. So, salam alaikum, everyone. Mandoor from London. I'm joined by fellow teammate Fatima. We're going to be hosting this panel discussion on how we can work together. So collaboration in a sense. But before we really dive into that, it would be great for viewers and yourselves as well to kind of get to know a bit more about yourself. So please tell us a bit about yourself and about the org that you're representing, starting with Hala.
Okay, so I'm Hala El Shafi, or Hala Al Aqib Shafi, and I'm the ambassador for Youth for Change and Development. And basically, we're an NGO that is a British-based charity, but obviously we do work in the Sudan. We have a number of different initiatives, but at the moment, our main priority is ensuring that medical teams are getting the right PPE, protective equipment, to be able to ensure that they can do their work safely in the hospitals and also not spread the virus. Okay, so as most people know, the mathematics of this virus is next level. Okay, in the West, the situation is bad enough, but in Sudan, this situation is absolutely disastrous. So we are trying our best. We have teams on the ground who are doing amazing work, and we are trying to do the best that we can here in the UK and globally. And we really appreciate the support that Sudan World have given us. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the minute. I'm sure I'll talk more.
That's amazing, man. Thank you for sharing that, Hala. So Ali.
Assalamu alaikum. So my name is Ali Yusuf. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I'm representing Sudan is Safe, which is an initiative that was formed by 5 different organizations here in America, that all of us were working, doing things here in America and trying to help out in Sudan. So the 5 organizations are called MFS, Sama Junior, SDN, Sudan Youth Network, and SAC, the Sudani American Collective. So we got together because we figured we're all working towards, bettering Sudan and, Sudani youth in the diaspora. So we figured we'd create this collaborative organization so we can tackle some of the issues happening in Sudan and here in America. So then by the time we, started working together and everything, it was the time of the coronavirus started reaching Sudan. So we figured we'd shift our efforts to working with people in Sudan and trying to just, support them in any way we can, preventative efforts and stuff. Alhamdulillah, we're working with a couple organizations in Sudan, and I can talk about that later on in the call. But alhamdulillah, yeah, it's a great group of people, and mashallah, we're doing big things, alhamdulillah.
I mean, I see Tabarak put in the clap emoji as well, man, because mashallah, like that initiative itself has been inspiring to see, and the teamwork behind that, and that's essentially, this is literally what we're going to talk about in this panel, is collaborating, and how when entities kind of join forces together, how you can move from accomplishing something that's really impactful. So it's been incredible to see that as well. Can we also, so introduction from Muhammad.
Yep. Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Muhammad Mustafa. I'm the founder and head
is
of
it
the
me or is
organization.
Muhammad cutting up a bit?
We're a charity
he's
organization
cutting
that
up a little
works
bit.
mainly and all recent corona I probably not.
Muhammad,
I told you
possible
Sudan
for
and
you to start again, please?
Yeah. Okay. So can you hear me
Yeah.
better now?
Yeah,
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, my name is Muhammad Mustafa. I'm the founder and head of the Philahat organization. We are an organization that works towards the betterment of the lives of children and orphans around the country by fixing the orphanages and providing the children with a child-friendly environment within which they can prosper and grow properly, inshallah. However, due to the recent COVID-19 pandemic, we have shifted our efforts towards helping the families in need by creating the Family Initiative, which is a collaborative effort with many organizations, both inside and outside Sudan. And that's about it. I hope that's enough.
Yeah, that's perfect, Mohammed. Thank you very much. And Rashad from UMIST. Welcome.
Yes, hi everyone. My name's Rasha, and I'm the head of the University Students Charity Initiative. We've been trying to do lots of work in hospitals, trying to improve the environment of the hospital for both patients and doctors, raising awareness about lots of diseases, practices that you can do towards your patients to improve outcome of diseases, or in general, the environment of the hospital. And when the COVID-19 started in Sudan, we gathered together all of the students of UMST, and we started an initiative that's directed towards raising funds to supply the ministry with medical supplies, because like we all know, the healthcare system in Sudan is a disastrous. It has very weak points. It doesn't cover all the states, not all the hospitals. It's concentrated in very small areas. Only few people get the privilege of having the access to the healthcare system. And because the COVID-19 does not only form a threat to patients, it also forms threats to doctors. And because we have shortage on medical equipment, we didn't want to face a shortage on medical staff as well. So we tried to provide protective medical equipment for the doctors to use during the time when they're caring for the patients. And alhamdulillah, we've been doing good for phase 1, and now we've started phase 2 to supply even triage of hospitals for the emergency department, in which they're going to take care of COVID-19 patients if they were to come through that hospital. And I think that's it.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Amazing, man. Yeah, mashallah alaikum, like everyone. And yeah, moving on to Tabarak. So tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tabarak, and I'm representing the Sudanese Diaspora Network today. And we're a group of youth and young professional-led network aspiring to do three things: to unify, to mobilize, and to empower the diaspora towards building a sustainable Sudan. And we also sit on the Sudan is Safe initiative that Ali did such a wonderful job summarizing what we do. And I'm looking forward to this conversation today. Like Rasha, Mohammed, both of you, I've watched your lives and you both inspire me so much. So it's an honor to be with everyone on this panel.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, just kind of, Fatima, I know you agree with me on this, but just kind of taking a step back and listening to each and every one of you talk about like what you do, what you're involved in. It's so inspiring to hear. Like, mashallah, everyone's making so much progress in a certain field or in similar fields. But because people are working together, we're starting to see like the magnitude of those effects being realized on the ground. So yeah, when you're kind of just listening to each and every one of you open up and just explain what you're doing and what the organizations you're a part of are doing, it's really inspiring to see. And it really leads on to the first question, which is, what does collaboration mean to you? And can you give an example of where you've been a part of a collaborative effort that has actually created a tangible impact? And I think we should start hopefully with Ali from the Sudan is Safe initiative.
Yep. So collaboration is at the key of what Sudan is Safe. It is a organization. Pretty much, it's we started a campaign. 5 organizations from throughout the United States. Most of us don't even know each other. 5 organizations from throughout America. We got together and we wanted to create change in Sudan. How can we use our collective power to really impact the people in Sudan and, change people's lives for the better? And, the moment that we started working on this organization, this collaboration, is when coronavirus started. So immediately, like, I was so impressed with how we were able to just shift our focus in the span of just like a snap of a finger. And we all got together and we all decided we need to help Sudan right now. So how can we help Sudan? So the next day, we set out tasks. Everybody researched some organizations working in Sudan, see how we can affect people's lives, see how we can help people. The next day, mashallah, we came back and there was a group of like 10 different organizations that are working in Sudan that we can help out. So it's really, collaboration was the key to getting us started and the key to, getting us rolling. And alhamdulillah, we created a launch good. We were able to raise $6,500, and that's all in the span of 1 month. I actually looked at when I started the launch good. Alhamdulillah, like I looked at when we started the launch good, it was exactly 1 month ago, and we raised $6,500. And that's a testament to the power of collaboration, because really, everybody in the organization was just focused. We all wanted to impact, get the greater impact as fast as we can. So everyone was sharing, everyone was telling their network, everyone was telling, their friends and families. And alhamdulillah, like the power of the group was just amazing. And alhamdulillah, we already achieved so much in just the span of a month, and we can do a lot more. And that's all through just collaboration.
That's amazing, Ali. Thank you so much for that update. And just, subhanAllah, it's been a month. And it's not only just managed to raise $6,000 almost. It's continuing, right? The plans are to continue fundraising and supporting the initiatives that you're doing on the ground. Just for background reference and for any viewers watching this, where do the funds go?
Yeah, so we're working with primarily 2 organizations in Sudan. One of them is actually on this panel right now, and that's Fill a Heart. So we already sent money to Fill a Heart. We're supporting their efforts in, they're doing a lot of great work, mashallah, and you'll hear more about it from our panelists. But, distributing food and just, working on the ground. So we wanted to find organizations, just grassroots organizations that are working on the ground. So Philahart is one of them. They're doing great work. The other one is the University of Sudan Chemistry Department. And what they've been doing, and they started this over 2 months ago. They're, you know, just a bunch of chemistry students, alumni and current students. They're all chemistry students, so they get in the lab, they create hand sanitizers, they create they create wipes, disinfectant sprays. So just a lot of they're working on preventive efforts and they're distributing it. So they're going to places like gas lines, bread lines, just places where it's still crowded, and they're distributing the hand sanitizers over there. And mashallah, they already distributed over 14,000 hand sanitizers.
Wow.
Mashallah. It's amazing.
That's incredible.
Mashallah.
That is
That's
really
great work,
incredible.
Allah.
Mashallah, yeah, Failan, that is really great work, and it wouldn't have been possible had it not been for collaboration, right? People working together for one common mission. I think that, I mean, that leads on straight to you. I think, Rasha, like, how do you see collaboration? And I'm going to change up the question very slightly here. Like, what's needed to make a collaborative alliance or collaboration in general? What's needed for it to work?
I think collaboration doesn't have to involve major organizations, because the fact that you have a few people coming together, that is collaborative work as well. But for organizations, obviously, it has so much more input, therefore the output would be maximized. And I think the way you would properly have a collaboration that would really, really make an effect is that you have to make out a plan. Because you have so many people that you have to run into this plan. You have so many people that will try to help, and everyone has to know what role they can do, what role they can help in. Otherwise, they had a very messy, no results. And the only thing that will happen is that you have too many opinions, too many sides, too many options, and suddenly it's just a mess. So I think collaborations have to follow a certain framework for it to properly work. In a way that will not be unfair to anyone, in a way that it will not do injustice to anyone's effort or anyone's ideas, anyone's opinions. But it is a form of a new organization. But this time, it doesn't only involve a few people, but this time it involves a huge amount of people. And this means a huge amount of effort, therefore a huge amount of outcome. And if it is done properly, if it is executed in a very good way, it could have very amazing results. Ways that no initiative has ever done before, no charity organization has ever done before, because there's nothing really like people coming together for a similar cause.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, that's incredible to hear, Rasha. Like, Failan, like, you see, so you touched upon this idea of, yeah, you have to have a plan, right? There has to be a plan that's structured. It could be a short, medium, and longer term vision as well. And by having a plan and at the same time defining roles and responsibilities for the participating orgs, that way, I guess, yeah, things are able to be streamlined and you're able to contribute towards an impact.
And it doesn't have to be people. Yes.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight a few points, is that you don't have to join in for the same cause. Like, you don't have to stop your efforts and join in for a different cause to make a collaboration. I could work, for example, with any another initiative and still continue my initiative if I would like to make a difference in two different things. I'd like to donate for the medical funding supplies, and I also would like to support the family initiative. So collaborations really work in a way where you're trying to make a lot of difference in a lot of sectors, in a lot of areas, but your own effort wouldn't make it. So that's the meaning of collaboration.
Fantastic. Yeah, amen. And this really ties into, Fatima, I know we've kind of spoken on this before in the past, and it kind of relates to a question I want to throw at Mohammed from Philahart. And this is the idea of planning, the idea of actually having a short, medium, long-term plan, and then the administrative side of things. So from your experiences, Mohammed, having worked on the ground with your teammates and so, like, how important is the plan? How important is the execution? And how important is the constant follow-up and learning from lessons learned, essentially?
Yeah, So the main thing, the main reason collaborations fall or break apart or not work as they are supposed to is because usually there are key points that are missed when starting a collaboration. For instance, not all those who are involved would understand the purpose of the collaboration. Not all of them would share the same exact goal within the collaboration itself. There aren't any defined roles. The roles of each team is not very clear, or the roles of each participant within the collaboration itself is not very clear. And things like this, you know, the not having a creative environment for everyone to be able to share their ideas, to share their vision. Things like this, they are very, very tiny mistakes that people make when starting collaborations, and they always lead to the same result. It's either not being efficient enough or leading to a dead end where no one can actually do anything. As well as, of course, the most important thing is that some people who join collaborations, they don't understand that the collaboration is a bigger thing than the particular organization they're representing within that collaboration. And this reminds me of a story. A professor studied the behavior of chicken, and this is completely irrelevant, but a professor studied the behavior of chicken, and they found out that they divided the herd of the chicken that they got into green zone and a red zone. So the green zone was producing a good amount of eggs steadily, and they were efficient, but there was no star performer, meaning there wasn't that one chicken that was exceptional, but everyone was doing their part and the production was really good. The red zone chicken, however, there was one or two particular chicken that were doing more, they were laying most of the eggs, they were doing most of the work. And so the others were put down by the fact that there are chickens that are superior to them, by the fact that the chicken that are better are going to get more attention from the caretakers, are going to get more support, and they're going to get better food, better so and so. And this resulted that in the long run, you'll find that the green zone chicken that were just laying a steady amount can last longer and provide more on the long run than the ones that were in the red zone, where there were only one or two chickens that were doing all the work. And that's the main, that just elaborates a very simple concept in collaboration, is that if you are in a collaboration, it's not about you anymore. It's about the goal. It's about having defined roles. It's about having a very specific and particular task that everyone is fulfilling, and then together it builds up to that bigger picture, you know.
Can I just interject here, actually, and just add something into the conversation, because leading on from what's just been said, it's absolutely key, because the one thing that you cannot have in a collaborative situation anywhere is ego. You know, it like what has just been said, is it's not about you, it's about the organization and working together, and that collaborative cohesion within the organization and working with others is absolutely crucial for smooth running. I've interjected here, but I just wanted to actually sort of throw it out there and ask the panel's opinion on something which is quite crucial. From my personal perspective, I worked on a number of philanthropic projects in the Gambia, with the Rohingya crisis in Bangladesh, and my plan was always to then do something in Sudan, and then the opportunity with YFCD came along. But actually part of that was to take a multidisciplinary team to Sudan, because we always work in a multidisciplinary team setting. So there's myself, there's surgeon, there's dentist, there's a couple of teachers as well, and I'm always asked whether people can come along and volunteer. That's not necessarily such an easy aspect for people to do, because if you're not used to working in certain environments, it could be quite shocking, and the last thing we need to do is to be taking care of somebody not being able to cope in a certain environment, because it's not pleasant, there's nothing glamorous about it. But what I wanted to ask is, how do people feel about members of the diaspora who are medics and work in the medical field coming back to Sudan and actually giving their time? Because for me, I feel that that's absolutely crucial.
That's a really great question. Yeah.
I mean, and that's really collaborative. If we're really talking
Yeah.
about collaboration, that's what it means. From a mentorship perspective, from a giving back perspective, from a sharing of knowledge perspective, and also really understanding, you know, what the real issues are. So, and also fundraising, it really helps. You know, when people actually physically could see what I was doing, it triggered them. It triggered them because A, they had never seen that level of poverty before, and B, because it was me that maybe they'd seen on a program, or maybe they assume I have kind of quite a glamorous life, but actually then seeing me in that setting was quite eye-opening. It really brought the reality of the situation, and that was quite powerful. Sorry, Mandel, carry on.
No,
Yeah,
great question. Sorry, go for it, Tabata.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really a great question. I'm gonna throw like a random statistic, but I really think for a lot of like our Sudanese medical students, like our medical people going in the healthcare field, a lot of us, and myself included, I'm a pre-med, I'm aspiring to be a physician. And my story is connected to Sudan, and I feel like that's the case for a lot of Sudanese people in the diaspora. It's some sort of inspiration back to the home country. And if you're not able to go back and actually serve that country, then how true are you to that purpose? And for example, my brother did his rotation in Alobayid, and the experiences that you said, like those experiences, those memories that you come back with and you share, that will continue to inspire people. That will continue. Maybe if you're not in the healthcare profession, you would want to donate to a cause, or just getting a more realistic view about what's happening in Sudan. And I feel like for the diaspora, oftentimes it's so easy for us to be detached from reality. So any way that we could, any way that we could get that hands-on experience of going out there, seeing what's available. You know, sometimes we have ideas of sending specific supplies to Sudan, but they may not be what the people need. So
and remember, there are people that are working on the ground 24/7. They do this work all of the time. The work that I was doing was kind of intermittent over a period of time, so maybe like a month maximum. Having said that, what we were able to offer was our time for free and clinics for free, and bring funds and resources, and also raise awareness, which is absolutely crucial. So I'm not expecting anybody to just leave their their career path necessarily, but what I am saying is, what about considering giving your time? You know, even like when you're going back you know, on holiday to see family members, maybe extending it like a week either side, and actually giving that time. There is nothing more rewarding in my life than doing this kind of work. It's not easy. It can be incredibly harrowing, especially when you do not have the resources. However, doing that, I mean, I cannot stress enough how much you get back from doing this kind of work. And it's and like you were saying, once you have seen this, you cannot unsee this. So I can't pretend like, oh, you know, this isn't really happening, because it's there. You know, it's there. And what people don't realize is you can do so much with so very, very little. So very little.
That's it.
Just to touch upon that point, actually, Hala, it's a very, very important point what you've touched upon. I'm really glad that you have. So by background, I'm a pharmacist, and I go to Sudan probably about once a year. So I always my parents have always said, like, you know, try and like jump in, try and see what it's like, try and compare it from the UK and Sudan in terms of like pharmacy, and just, you know, what are the differences. So I think the biggest difference that I saw is that a lot of people were coming in and, like, for example, didn't have enough money for medication. And, you know, people in Sudan, diabetes is very prevalent, asthma, things like that.
Highly prevalent.
So things like something as simple as a salbutamol in here, like, it's very crucial for someone to have that. Even if your asthma is controlled or isn't controlled, it's important that you have the crucial medication to do that. And so in terms of like what I did, and I'm just an individual, I spoke to a lot of my friends who are also pharmacists and explained like what's actually going on in Sudan and how they can't afford it, and like what do you think we should do as like healthcare professionals, and just between us, like we just like raised a little bit of money and then sent that to Sudan just to help with something as simple as that. I've always wanted to go back to Sudan, so whether that be to work as a pharmacist or to be in education of the training of pharmacists, it's something that I'm really passionate about, and I think it is important, and that is, I think, like you said, the definition of a collaborative effort. It really is.
Yeah, it is, because the bottom line is, what is the point, right? Because all of us are kind of like, I always say this, we're here by a lottery, and when I say lottery, I don't mean like that kind of lottery. I mean just like where you end up is where you end up. I just happened to be born in London, right? So I happen to be here. My father, God rest his soul, he was a doctor, and actually he at the end of his life, he was giving back to Mustashfa Academy. He was an anaesthetist and gave his time back. He was teaching and giving that time. Trust me, it was not his salary that was keeping there, because he pretty much gave that away, because, but he needed to give back. He had been out of the country for over 45 years. Yeah. And due to the political situation, all sorts of aspects. But the point I'm making is, if there's a hadith, if you are not, if you can eat and the next person cannot, what is the point? What are we doing here? I mean, let's talk about it bottom line. If we are benefiting, if we have been blessed, to have what we have, then we should at least, the very minimum, give back. Now, that doesn't have to be just by finance. It can be our knowledge. It can be our time. It can be through awareness. There are so many things, and that in itself is collaboration. But we need to do much more of that. Like I said, this is about, it's not about ego, but it's about working together so that we can, for the greater good. And I think that having collaborations between charities is really crucial as well, because there is often a great crossover as well. So, and that is something that I have seen work very well in the Gambia and in Bangladesh as well.
That's a really, really great point. I think, Fatima, what you said as well, like giving that example, it highlights that importance as well. For Sudan's kind of side of things, I personally know quite a lot of people that have moved from say Canada to work in NGOs in Sudan. Like they felt that they wanted to collaborate in that way, that the way they could really help is actually by being on the ground. In reality, is that going to happen on a very large scale at this point in time? Probably not, given that the opportunities there available, they're not the same as those that have lived and worked in the diaspora. But at some point when those opportunities do become available, then more people will tend to move, and there'll be that transfer of knowledge both ways. But for now, what we're seeing is orgs in the diaspora. Look at the Sudan Safe Initiative as an example. Look at YFCD as an example. That we're seeing orgs collaborate with those on the ground so that they're working together in a collaborative manner, and they're using technology to aid in that collaboration. And I think that's the kind of phase we're currently in, and that phase in itself has so much potential to help empower Sudan, particularly if we go in with that mindset that the people that live in the diaspora, we don't know more than the people that are in Sudan.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know, those people that are in Sudan and the orgs operating in Sudan, they will know much more than us about the realities on the ground, because they see it day to day. But where we have our skill sets is that, we've been exposed to potentially more opportunities. So you can marry up those kind of experiences, those assets, those weaknesses, and get a collaborative relationship that actually works hand in hand to address a common issue.
I'm also
I think that's
to follow on from that. I have a question actually. So these are for the organizations that are outside of Sudan. So if you personally can't get to Sudan to do the work on the field, how have you decided which orgs or initiatives that you want to work with that are based in Sudan?
So the way we decided which organizations to work with Sudan, first, as I said earlier, one of the first tasks that we had as a group initiative, we told everyone to go do some research. Everyone, okay, you have 2 days, go do research, talk to your cousin, talk to your friend, talk to your family, talk to people in Sudan, let's get a list of organizations that are working in Sudan. So that's the first thing we did. Okay, now we have this list of like, it was 10 to 15 organizations that are all doing great stuff in Sudan. Obviously, we can't support all of them. We gotta focus our efforts. So we decided, okay, what's the most thing that Sudan needs to work on right now to respond to this coronavirus situation? So we drew on examples from, from America. Okay, what could have we done better in America so the pandemic didn't get as bad as it got? So we said the first thing, one of the most important things is prevention and awareness. We think those things weren't there in America, even though, it's like, oh, people think America is this, like America and the West in general is like very advanced and everything. But there's some key things that are missing, like awareness and prevention and, hygiene and all of that stuff. So we figured, okay, let's focus our efforts on organizations that are working on prevention, because there was all these organizations working on, like buying ventilators and stuff like that, which is very important. But in the time, we thought that the most important things was, all right, we need people to stay safe. And the other thing is, we're telling people to stay at home, but not everyone has the privilege and the luxury of just being able to work from home. Alhamdulillah, we have it in this country. And, in general in the West, where we can just work from home and we'll be fine. But people over there, what they work is what they eat. They work for the day, and that's their sustenance. So we can't just, it's like us with our privilege. We can't tell people in Sudan, hey, you need to stay home and you need to, avoid social contact and don't go out. But it's like, okay, how am I going to eat? How am I going to feed my family? So given that mindset, we decided to work with organizations that are providing food and organizations that are providing just preventative efforts. So then we found the two organizations, Phila Heart, alhamdulillah, they're doing great stuff, and University of Sudan Chemistry Department. And they're both working on the two things that we thought were vital. And alhamdulillah, you can't know how much impact we've had so far, but even if we've helped, 10 people, or with one hand sanitizer, actually someone used it and that saved them from getting coronavirus, then, everything was worth it. So alhamdulillah, we think those two were the areas that we should focus on. But now, as things are escalating, we're definitely starting to talk about what we can do next, and other organizations, whether it's ventilators or protective equipment, or what's to come in the future. So
alhamdulillah, and it's great work, inshallah fi mizan hasanatkum, inshallah. Like my question is, the orgs that are in Sudan, because they're in abundance, there's so many people that are doing stuff, individual or actual organizations that are registered. How do you personally, or any question, any person on the panel, feel free to answer, how do you ensure that they're credible?
That's a great question.
It's a really good question, actually, and it's a very important question, because I think one of the great, one of the biggest issues has been ensuring that money goes to the source, because there has been historically a lot of corruption. I'm just going to say it, and that is very, very important, that people do know that when they're supporting charities, that it's actually going to the source. Sorry, carry on. You were going to say. I just interjected that.
No,
it's something it's really, really important. I know, like me personally, if I've ever done anything where the money's going to Sudan, like I know a lot of people would rather take the money they had done, and they'll give it to the people that are in need of the money, so that they know that it's going 100% to the person. So that's why I asked the question, because I think it's important to let the viewers know why they should support the Sudan the Safe Initiative, for example, or YFCD.
Yeah, YFCD. Well, I can talk for YFCD specifically, but that's actually the key. That was the number one question I actually asked before becoming ambassador, because that's really crucial. But they are absolutely transparent with everything. There is a team that works on the ground in the Sudan. So we have 200 volunteers, but also 25 staff members. And we know exactly where every single penny is going. And we have receipts for everything. And we actually visually, we see. So like when we've said that we bought PPE, we have actually physically bought that PPE, and we know that the medics have received that. And that is so important, not just for the people that are giving, but it's also for anybody that's involved. I would not be or want to be involved in anything that, you know, I'm giving my time for a reason. There's a reason I'm doing sadaqah, yani, and it's to ensure that the people that are less fortunate are getting that. And the doctors are getting the support that they need, and that's just one aspect of the projects. We've got a number of projects, but it's the same across the board. It's the same across the board.
I think,
to be honest, honesty in Sudan in regards to organizations, charity organizations, it's very difficult to name out an organization that you can say is very credible in terms of where the money is going, what they're doing with the money. But I can say a few things is that many of the initiatives done are really done with people, or the people in charge are usually people that really want to make a difference, because you'd see backstories, and generally a person that's really trying to discredit you or trying to take it somewhere else doesn't really have a very deep story, or it doesn't have a very strong framework most of the time. And other than that, is that even after they do collect the money, they do not have backup pictures, which is very important. The new discipline of trying to prove what you've done, the pictures for the products you've bought, the pictures of things that you've done for a really long time. And religiously, so many people have been complaining is that it's, in a way, it's riya, because if you've done sadaqah, you just have to keep it away and just move on forward. But we are in a time where people do think twice before donating, not because they don't want to donate, but because they're not sure you're going to take the money to the right place. And that's why taking pictures and proving that you have done the work is very important.
It's so important.
Otherwise, people would not be encouraged. Yes.
No, that's what I was saying. That's
Encourages
why
people to donate for a second time.
Yeah, transparency is absolutely key. And, you know, any organization that is hesitant about that, I would be hesitant about them. That's the first thing I would say to anybody that's donating. So that's number one. You have to be accountable in the same way that if you're running a business, you have to be accountable to your finance director or to, you know, your accountant. It's exactly the same. You're managing money so that it's the best use of that money. So,
yes, and it's even double the responsibility. At least you're dealing with your own money.
Absolutely.
Yes, if you lose the money, it's your money, but this is completely different. This is not even your money.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's a good point, Rasha. Like, it's different from as tabarak as donating. Like, I may not, like, I'm donating, say, but it's not the same when you're on an organizational level, because this is someone else's amana. They're trusting in you to get it to where it needs to go. And I think in finding organizations in Sudan, and mashallah, with this generation that is to come, I think it was way more common to find organizations that didn't record or that didn't take photos and they didn't take receipts. But mashallah, like, I'm seeing it with you, Rasha, I'm seeing it with Muhammad, the University of Sudan. Like, this is a new concept that's coming into Sudan that's going to make it easy.
It's truly a new era.
Accountability
it's
on every single level. Transparency and accountability.
You know, for the longest times, the only charities that were actually working on field used to be governmental charities, ones that were done to honor certain miters that the government wanted to honor, or certain people that had influence. These were the most charities for a very long time. Like, there wasn't charities that belong to youth people this much. There has been a few ones, but not this much. And now you can see that everyone wants to help, everyone wants to give in, everyone feels a sense of responsibility, which is very important, because someone can help and donate, but it doesn't have to be coming out of a sense of responsibility or a sense of giving out. But now I feel like this energy is found everywhere. Like, everyone wants to help, regardless of how they can help, which is so much important than other generations that used to help in ways where it was only accommodatable to themselves or their environment or their community, which is very important now.
Yeah, and I think this is something that we all do. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's something that we all do, and it's just you know, do your due diligence. you're not going to give money to an
Absolutely.
organization before
Yes.
doing your research. This was the first thing that we did. The moment we
Yeah.
found these two organizations, I messaged someone from there. The day right after, I told them, hey, let's get on a call. I talked to them. Just from the beginning, I wanted to establish, hey, we need to be really transparent. Are you going to send us receipts? Are you going to send us pictures? Are you going to send us this, that, everything? You know, I checked everything because في النهاية, as you guys said, أنا لازم أطمن أنا قبل ما
Yeah,
أبني anyone
good.
else. أنا ذاتي, this is the money is coming to me, right?
Yes, that's true.
أنا
That's it.
أطمن قبل ما أقدر أطمنكم. You know,
Exactly
لأنه
that.
في النهاية دي
Absolutely.
كلها, it's like ربنا
لا
حيسألك.
أنا ما مطمن
So
بس yes, true.
exactly. So do your due diligence. But yeah, go ahead, Mohammed. I cut you off.
Yeah, and those are all great points. And yani, from the point of view of me speaking now as Filahat, a huge part of, a very, very important part of ensuring that the people will support you and the people will trust you as an organization or as an entity is that you need to involve people in the work that you do, preferably on the field. If not, then involve them with whatever means you can through maybe, as Rasha and Hala said, with
Definitely, yes.
photos, with receipts, with everything. But the most important thing is that whenever it's possible, involve people on the field. If, yani, like we did this with SDN, we did this with many people that collaborated with us. And we faced when he came to the orphanage to paint with us. All of the people from SDN that were there at the time, they all shared the same experience, the same things that we do on a daily basis. And we try to involve everyone that comes from abroad, like a lot of people from Germany, many friends and many Germans, and people from Slovenia, people from all over the world who are supporting Filahat as an organization. They came to Sudan to visit. And we made sure that they have the first-hand experience. They experience what we do. They go there, they see the work being done on the field, and they take part in a process of gaining trust, in the process of establishing a certain image for your organization or for your for whatever you're representing, for whatever charity body that you're representing, whether it's a campaign or an organization or whatever. But the most important thing is that, like everyone just said, you have to be transparent. You have to be very clear with whoever you're getting the support from. And most importantly, try your best to involve them in whatever you're doing whenever you get a chance. Yani, some people started collaborating with us months before they came to Sudan. And whenever they had the chance to come to Sudan, we made sure that they go, they see where their money was going, and to try and help with their own hands. Filahat, we don't hire people for the majority of work. Yani, when we were focusing on the orphanages, all the work there was done by hand, by the members themselves. They used to paint the walls, they used to clean the rooms, they used to do this and that and this and that. So yeah, I think for the most part, people need to understand that this is a new generation in Sudan. That doesn't mean that you should trust them, but give them a chance. You know, we can't be dealing with two different generations the same way. That we can't deal with this generation the same way we dealt with the previous one, the same way that the people have been dealing with the previous generations. Definitely.
I say you just got to do your due diligence, like Ali was kind of suggesting, and at the same time, give them a chance. I think that's a great way to put it, Mohammed.
Really important.
Exactly.
I think that's a really great way to put it.
What's your advice for viewers that are watching? So whether that be recognised orgs or just individuals that are trying to do their part to help back in Sudan, how could they form a collaboration with the orgs that are based in Sudan? How do we reach out?
Oh, okay, well, I'll just start off. So YFCD is actually like a British, we're a registered British charity as well. So that is one of the easiest ways, certainly for UK and European members of the Sudanese diaspora, if they want to get involved. And there's lots and lots of ways. So the first thing I would say is just contact us, get in touch, make sure you're following us on social media, but just send us a DM, drop us a line. And let us know what your skill set is. and then we'll see how you can help, because there are lots of different ways, lots and lots of different ways. We've already had people reach out just through this campaign, through Ramadan, who have amazing skill sets. You know, it could even just be, you know, it could be via social media. It could be about updating. It could be, I don't know, a group that you have within university. There are so many ways, maybe even ways that we haven't even thought of. So just communicate with us. That's the easiest way to collaborate, you know, and let's have a conversation.
So what's the best way to contact you, Hala, or the people at YFCD?
Yeah, so basically, on Instagram, it's YFCD_.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and that's Youth for Change and Development. So make sure you're following. Send us a message or an email as well. There's a link on there, so you can come direct to us, and we always respond to everybody that contacts us. And even just to say, you know, just to comment and to, you know, give us the support, it really means a lot, actually, because it's quite hard. You know, sometimes you could have had a day whereby you're speaking, you know, to colleagues in Sudan, and been quite harrowing and quite soul destroying, and we've got to keep up to support them. And just us knowing that people are, you know, have got our back as well, just even as a kind word, it really does impact, and it really kind of helps. And you think, yeah, okay, I know why I'm doing this. Do you see what I mean? It's just about supporting. There are lots of different ways that you can positively collaborate.
And it doesn't have to be financially. It could be.
It doesn't have to be financially.
It
doesn't have to be financially. You know, sharing knowledge is key. Raising awareness is key. You know, listen, it doesn't take anything to like click share and click like.
Even being kind to those
2
in
seconds
charge is important as well.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Very
And,
important.
What did you say?
Muhammad, go for it.
Yeah. So my advice would be not for the people that want to donate, but for the people that actually do the work. Make your work speak for itself, and make sure that whatever you do, you hold it up to the highest standards, so that you can at some point reach a point where you don't have to ask for help, where you are now an established entity, where you are now known enough and trusted enough to be reached out to be representing yourself without even having to represent yourself. So do the work that you do as in the best possible way, or in the best way it can ever be done, and make sure that you put all your effort into it, and whatever effort you put into your work, it counts. No matter what, no matter how little it seems to you as a person. People think that donating £1 is not cool. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, people think that donating £1, it's not that cool, but trust me, it does make a difference. So make sure that whatever effort you put in with niyyah khalsa. You have pure intention.
I just want to add to that. What you're saying is absolutely crucial. If you think about how many of the Sudanese diaspora there are living outside of Sudan, if each person just gave £1 or $1, do you know how impactful that is?
Definitely.
You know, so like that we can do so. This is what I'm saying. You can do so much with just very, very little, a tiny amount. You can't even buy a coffee with that. So
definitely,
you know, but that collective effort is so powerful. And also, I think the key here is unity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
People have to come together. People have to make sure that they all put in whatever they can put to better the situation in Sudan. And at the end of the day, no matter how little you do, or how big you put in, or how much effort you actually put into it, it will all count at the end of the day, Yani. And at the end of the day, when you think about the work being done, for instance, the equipment being bought for hospitals, do you know how many people you might have just saved your life? You might have saved their life. You know how many families you have actually helped. Yani, people donate £5 over £5, or a pound here and a pound there, and now we have reached roughly almost more than 300 families, and that's an estimated over 2,800 individuals are being supported by the £1 from here and the £1 from there. So you have to make sure that whatever you do with pure intentions, and you try to look for the people that let their work do their talking.
That's it.
No,
Well, that's
true.
beautiful.
True.
That's a beautiful saying, Muhammad. I think that's saying make your work speak for itself. I mean, that's something you through Fill a Heart has really inspired us. I mean, when we went to see Megoma and we saw the quality of work that you guys were doing, it hit us, and the feel and the work was speaking for itself. And that's why you've managed to have so much support coming to your org. And I think it's just a lesson learned. It's just something that we can all draw inspiration from. We're seeing that with the Sudan the Safe initiative, where the pictures are speaking for itself, the level of families that you're managing to actually affect in a positive manner, but the level of people and the hope that you're bringing through those campaigns is really making a difference.
And it leads on.
Yeah, go for it, Rasha, go for it.
Yeah, it makes you think that you don't have to put too much effort into posters or advertisement or your words or your speech, as much as you have to put effort into the work itself, because that's what's making a difference. Yes, you have to remember that.
So by thinking with that good intent and just putting the national interest ahead of any other interest, right? Then that's where you can get to that stage. And on that note, putting the national interest first. I think Ali and Mohammed, you talked through your kind of discussions about involvement, doing due diligence, making sure that Hala as well, like making sure that the cause, when you're in a collaboration, it's no longer about you or a single entity. It's about the goal, right? It's about the cause. And this idea of involvement you've talked about, Mohammed, in a sense, that brings that sense of belonging, right? And if people feel that there is a sense of belonging to an organization or an initiative, then they're more inclined. Yeah. Exactly, they give more because they feel that they're part of a bigger story.
It's something personal now. Yes,
it's something personal. And I think that's something we've learned. And Tabarak, and I think you can elaborate on this, and Fatima, like through going to kind of Megoma and seeing what was happening there on a personal level, we felt a part of the story. So on this idea of sense of belonging, for those that are interested in forming collaborative relationships or forming an alliance between different orgs, what advice can you give them in terms of how you can manage a collaboration and how you can settle differences of opinion? And I leave that question to open to the house.
I think that's a good question. Go ahead, Risha.
Yeah, thank you. It's a very good question. And it's a very important point, because we have to remember that collaboration does magnify the effort, and it also maximizes your output as well. But I think we have to remember that once you start charity, it doesn't have to be all big and glowy and starry. It doesn't have to include 200 plus people. It doesn't have to include 500 people. It could literally include 2 people out of your home, 2 people out of your friends group, and you could do the most. That's number one. You can't discredit any effort, no matter how small it may seem to you, or even if it doesn't match to some of the organizations that you see online, on TV, or the radio. These are organizations that have been doing effort over several years, and it's obvious that now they're very big, and even in members amount, in the amount of effort they do. What's important is that you have to start. Once you start, you have to remember that you're in this work for the charity. You're not in it for yourself. You're not in it for the glory. You're not in it for the round of applause. You're not in it for the fame. That has to be the rule of number one. You have to remember that you're in it for the charity work, and you're in it for the people that will benefit from it. Number two, I think the problem with so many charities now is that problems arise within the charity organization as well, due to differences in opinions. You have so many people that can, how do you put it? So many people are only interested once there's light sharing, once it involves radio stations, TV stations, stuff like this. But when it comes to the actual work that's done behind the scenes, they're not really interested in that. Yes, they're not interested in that anymore. So I think it falls upon the leaders or the people that started this initiative or the charity to remember that in a very deep way, these people can be put in a place where they can still help your initiative and at the same time not damage it or not hurt it in a way. So you can still make good use of them, but at the same time, you don't have to feel as if they're using your initiative in a way. That's the thing that you have to remember. Thirdly, again, we can come in contact with other people that would want to help, but they do not want to be involved all of the time. Some people would only like to donate financially, but not give into the actual work. And it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, any effort is effort. If it's financially, if it's emotionally, if it's even morally or physically. And that's the most important thing. But once you're starting collaborations, you have to remember that you're bringing in people of different mindsets, different backgrounds, different opinions, different goals, different everything. So if you do not sit down and form a strict plan on what you'd like to execute and hear every side of how their opinion is to perform this plan, to do this charity work, you will find that along the way, you're going to encounter these problems again. You're going to find problems with opinions later on along the way. You're going to find problems with how you'd like to execute this action. Some would think it's too early, some would think it's the right time. So I think agreeing on a plan at first is very important, because the beginning of everything is حلوة شديدة البدايات حلوة. So even the morals would be high, they would be emotionally involved, and they would be in the middle or the end of a project. And that plan will help back you up more than your own belief in the charity or the work. Like a plan, a strict plan that's agreed on with all parties would back you up very good in a way that would not, I'm not saying you're not going to face problems, you are, but a plan would be the best thing to go back to. Like, this is what we agreed on. We can't now change our opinion. We can't change the plan now. So it makes you avoid so many problems of people trying to form different opinions or even different ideas too late into the project, which creates a lot of tension within the members, creates a lot of tension, and suddenly everyone doesn't want to work with each other anymore. But
I think the key for that,
there is a lot of good sides to it, because now you have so many people to share the effort with. You don't have to worry about it yourself. You don't have to worry about reaching that goal alone, because the more people that are involved, the more people that can help, the more people that can hear about it, another circle can help. It's literally like a snowball effect, a friend of a friend, a family of a friend, and eventually you've reached that goal. And I'd like to emphasize on Muhammad's part is that you don't have to donate 100 million to actually make a difference. I keep saying this over and over again. Remember our 6 million. We had 90,000 pounds donated, and that's the amount we raised. But on the day of buying or purchasing of that medical supplies, we were missing 6 million. And when we collected that 6 million, it meant so much more than 90 million itself, and it makes you remember that. It doesn't have to be done in a huge amount to actually make a difference or to hit the goal again. Like 1 pound over 1 pound over 1 pound. And even the 6 million was donated in a sense of all the students of UMSC. Each student paid a 50. And that 50 would have meant nothing in regards to a person that donated 10 million. But suddenly it meant so much more in regards of the 6,000 that we collected in the last day, and even to the initiative itself.
And that's a great example of unity. People coming together to support a cause.
Motivational in regards to everything else. So yeah, I think that's it.
Fantastic. Hala, I think you were saying something. Hala, what's your thoughts
all I was gonna say is communication is absolutely key, and good management. That's it basically, and that's the same with any kind of organization, any business. It comes down to communication and the people, and involvement, and good management. If you don't have good management, forget it. It's gonna falter before it's even started.
Yeah, and I'll just add to quote my brother Muhammad, just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Literally, you have so much potential. If you anyone watching this, if you are a teenager, if you are in your 20s, 30s, whatever, you have so much potential. You have so many experiences. Everyone is good at something. I can go around this panel and I can find 3 or 5 or 10 things that everyone is really good at individually. You might be good at finance. You might be good at social media. You might be good at so many things. You know what I mean? Just research might be something that you can bring to an organization. So if you're watching this and you're thinking of doing something, just reach out to people, start working. I know we mentioned, have a plan and communication is key and like all of this stuff. Like, yes, all of this stuff is important. At the end of the day, any group you work in, any group, whether it's school or work or whatever, you're going to face conflicts. Conflicts is part of working in organizations. So don't shy away from conflict. Actually approach it with a willingness to learn and, you know, learn from someone else's experiences and someone else's perspectives. And you'll find that you're going to grow as an individual and your whole organization is going to grow. So definitely don't be shy. Just go out and do it. Work with people. When we started Sudan is Safe, it was 5 organizations. We got on a call. We're like, all right, how do we help Sudan? 1 month later, we raised $6,500. So you have so much potential. So just go out and do it. Like, wallahi, it'll work out. If there's conflict, it's okay. It'll work out. It'll get smoothed out. So just go out and do it.
There's growth and conflict. There's so much growth and conflict because remember the points that we talked about collaboration in the beginning. It's an opportunity to learn from one another, bring different skill sets, and like Russia said, make a richer project or initiative at the very end. And with Mandoor's question, when I first heard it, I thought of 2 things. There could be challenges when working with organizations within the same region, but I feel like there's a unique challenge to collaborating with organizations like from the diaspora point of view to an organization based in Sudan. And that point is my advice to anyone from a diaspora-based organization outside of Sudan trying to help out Sudan, the most important thing to do is to listen. I know a lot of us want to dive in, we want to go help, and we have a plan to help. But so do the people in Sudan. And these people know what's available, know what's the resources, and they've navigated it given the limited resources that are in Sudan. So the key thing is to listen to these organizations based in Sudan to identify what and how you could help. And don't let like someone shutting down your idea, like what you thought was so amazing and so great, and you spent hours with your team planning, to deter you from someone telling you, "Ooh, child, we don't have that in Sudan. I'm sorry." Like, or whatever it may be. So that's my advice in regards to those challenges, like especially with working from the diaspora, trying to reach out into Sudan. Definitely listen. And that way your project, because at the end of the day, your idea or your vision, you want it to work. You don't want to send supplies, say, for example, medical supplies in Sudan and it not being able to work because maybe they don't have the appropriate skill sets. And with him, there's that. And then there's the other thing that I feel like Ali and Hala and the rest of the people on this call could touch on about collaborating with just different organizations. Maybe you have a similar vision, like communication, like you mentioned. And I'm going to let other people talk about that, but I just really wanted to highlight collaborating with Sudan from the diaspora point of view.
True.
A great point.
If I might say something, people always like, people tend to, especially people who are coming into the new environment that is now developing in Sudan, the environment of collaborative work, of organizational work, people who are working within those organizations themselves, even in Sudan or outside Sudan, they need to understand that there are certain concepts that they need to learn, they need to work with, they need to understand. For instance, the concept of professionalism, the concept of understanding that when I'm criticizing something that you did, I'm not criticizing you personally, I'm criticizing the quality of the product that you have given, to this particular organization.
It's not personal.
Don't take it personal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like, what do you get if you hug a coal? You'll get a dirty shirt. But what do you get when you pressure it? You will get a diamond, right? And that's the
Allah, Muhammad with his analogies, mashallah, man.
I'm impressed.
Right? The chicken earlier on and now this one.
Yeah, people need to understand that when I'm criticizing you, it's only because I want you to produce something that's better. I know that you have the potential in you, and I want you to produce that extra. I want to push you that extra centimeter, the distance between you and achieving something that's amazing. And we all push each other. Like when we got on the call with all of the people that we're collaborating with right now, there were always points that we don't agree on from the get-go. There will always be points that you will not agree on. But once you start analyzing,
Definitely.
once you start listening, once you start understanding each other's point of view and each other's perspective, it's not about always getting what you want. It's not about always getting what you think is best. It's about compromise. It's about reaching that middle ground that satisfies everyone. And I really, really hope that people in Sudan can grasp that concept, and people from outside Sudan can understand that many of the things that are developing in Sudan right now, many people who are coming into this organizational work, many of the people that are coming into this new era of people trying to do things by themselves, and Sudanese people trying to do things by themselves, for themselves, people need to understand that not many people have that experience, that exact skill set to execute the organizational work the way people maybe outside Sudan are used to. So we all have to understand that, and we all have to help each other reach bigger and better things, inshallah, in the future. And like you all said, Yani, Sudan is now shape-shifting, if I may say, and nothing will be the same, neither today, nor tomorrow, nor the day afterwards. And we all have to keep changing with it, not stick with one single mindset. Forget. Sudan will keep changing, and we have to keep changing with it in order to support it in the best way, inshallah.
Yeah, it's a dynamic.
And that's it.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
I think
bro.
that's fundamental, actually, what you've just said, to listen and understand. So, and I think that's advice for all of us as viewers, that if we want to join a collaborative project in the future, or now for that matter, they're fundamental. And that's a good advice from Mohammed, who has had a lot of positive collaborations with organizations within Sudan and out of Sudan. And I'm just really conscious of the time, because I don't know about you, Manzoor, but it starts very, very soon.
It is. Yeah.
So,
I think I'm getting, someone's knocking. So my sister just literally knocked on my door and got me a boya.
MashaAllah.
شفت اليونتي دي والله.
MashaAllah. Well, great.
Collaboration in the house.
Collaboration. Let's go.
My guys are
Unity.
they know not to disturb. So now I'm like, okay.
Ah, bless
Where's
him.
my water?
Where's my water?
Stop now.
Where's your water?
But,
Khalas, I'm not gonna drink it. I won't drink it in front of you guys.
No, that's
No,
what the
it's okay.
Tawali, yeah.
No, I'm good.
Me and Sudan, we
Like,
had
yeah,
a
we should
session
probably
3
wrap
hours
it.
ago.
We
Yeah,
should
yeah,
probably wrap it up.
Actually 4.
We should wrap it up. So
Yes.
my final question is, if there's viewers out there now that are watching and would like to donate, where are we donating and how are we donating?
I'm going to shout out first because I want to go and I want to break my fast.
Go for it. Go for it.
YFC
Go ahead.
_ right. Join our Instagram page if you're not already following, and click the link and donate. That's for us,
Perfect.
but I
Thank
think
you
you can
so
do
much,
that for
Hala.
Sudan World. So I think, am I being rude?
I don't.
No, thank you so much, Hala.
Thank you so much for joining us, Hala.
Listen, you guys are all amazing. I'm so honored to be on this panel. Manzoor, thank you so much to all of you, and I'd love to have a conversation
honor's ours,
independently as well.
No, the honor's ours, man.
Father's
Allah.
heart.
Keep
Keep us in your dua, Hala. Keep us in your duas, please,
Yes,
as you
sir.
break your fast.
I mean,
Enjoy the food.
Yeah, siyaman magbula.
As-salama.
Salama.
Salama.
Bye.
Mandur, go ahead, drink your water. Drink your water.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I can hold on. I think it's a great question by Fatima. So Tabarak, like, where do we donate? How do we support?
Okay, drum roll, everyone that's watching. I'm going to make this super quick. Yes. We're trying to raise, thank you. We're trying to raise $12,000 to send medical supplies in Sudan, especially during these last 10 days. We can do it. We have the power. We have the ability. We have the collaborative effort. Go check out www.launchgood.com/Layali Ramadan to support this medical supplies initiative that would get essential PPE and other medical supplies to Sudan. So that's a fundraiser that we have active on right now. Please support it, and inshallah get to the people that need it the most.
Inshallah.
Beautiful.
Inshallah.
Thank you. So inshallah. Well, Ali, Sudan is safe, man.
Yep, Sudan is safe. It is go to launchgood.com/Sudan is safe and follow Sudan is safe on Instagram. You'll see it there, just Sudan is safe. And inshallah, Rabbani yataqabbal, it's like the last 10 days. So
Ameen,
donate
inshallah.
as much as you can. Inshallah, you'll donate on Laylatul Qadr and it'll be multiplied by 10,000.
By
Ameen.
84.
83
Yep.
or 84?
84.
3.3.
84, come on.
Exactly. I did the math
that
yesterday.
one is so important, huh?
Yes,
Yeah,
84.
it's very.
Yes, so support our thing,
Fantastic.
support SDN's launch good, just donate as much as you can these days, especially these days.
Ameen.
If you can't donate and you don't have the capacity, share it with someone that you know can donate. And something,
Yes,
we all have
definitely.
that one person.
That can
Amen.
donate.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
really
That's
important. Really important. If you don't
Yeah.
have the capacity to donate, then share. And the same
Amen.
question goes to you, Muhammad Mustafa.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just talk very briefly. To cover a family, it won't cost more than $10 or £10, if I may. It will be roughly between 10 to 15, depending on the number of the members of each family. If it was very large, it will take about $20 to support them for a whole month. And people don't understand how big that is. Yeah, and $20, you can probably buy crisps or something with it. But when you think about the amount of impact and the amount of people you can help with that little amount that you can donate, the amount of things that you can do to help out those families, with so little you can do so much. And as they said, those are the last 10 days of Ramadan. And you don't always have to look at the last 10 days of Ramadan as the days where you will get the most of blessings, because that, in that case, you're technically trading. But look at them as a start for you and your new, profound, charitable self. Think of it that way. Start donating now. When inshallah, this will be a new start for you, inshallah, and you will donate more in the future, and you will help in any way possible, whether it was sharing, whether it was even advice. Even like we get people that tell us, you know what, the colors are clashing in this poster, so I think you need to change it. And we do change it. And if you can help us out that way as well, that would be amazing. So you can check out our page on Instagram and you can check out our page on Twitter. It's Philahai. Everywhere you go, you'll find it. And if you need anything, you can get in contact with us through our page. And I wish that Allah yaqabbal everything, that every little penny that you pay and every little effort, even if you just share it, even if you just look at it and admire it and show it to one of your family members, inshallah, and you don't share it at all, as long as you are
that's ajr as well.
as long as you are in your dua, and as well as long as you are making sure that we are always in the back of your mind, that's all we want. So with that in mind, thank you very much, and thank you for helping out.
Thank you very much, Muhammad. That was beautiful, bro. And Rasha, so just from your side of your turn, go for it.
Okay, if you're situated in Sudan, you can donate through the 3 credit lines in Sudan and MTN. And if you're outside of Sudan, you can donate through our PayPal account, which is UMST. Doctor is 8. And you can follow our page on Instagram, Students Initiative, or our page on Twitter, also Students Initiative. You can also follow us on Facebook for more information for everything that we're doing, the past phase, what we'll do for the next phase as well, and even more information of how you can help, whether it be financially or emotionally, or even you being physically there to help. If you have connections in ways that we can get medical supplies for less price, that would help as well. Everything would help. Don't forget that our goal now is 1.5K dollars, and we have managed to raise almost 1K. So we have like $500 or $600 left. And because of how bad our economy is, your dollar means like literally 200 here, which is very almost 200, which is a lot of money here in Sudan. So this helps more. Like, it's very bad for our people, but it's very good in a sense that even if you give out small amounts like $10 or $12, it makes so much of a difference, because it gives out so much more when we convert the dollars and the pounds into actual Sudanese pounds. So I'd really like everyone to help and donate. And remember, you don't have to donate to me specifically. If you donate to any of the initiatives that have been in the discussion now, you are helping in a way. The medical supplies don't have to come from my initiative. It could come from any of the other initiatives. And in the end, we would reach the same result. So remember, you can help whoever initiative you feel closest to or your heart feels upon it. And inshallah, كلنا في
Help 'em
ميزان
all.
حسناتنا.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
help everyone
because
you'd like to help. وإن شاء الله
everyone
في
you
ميزان
can.
حسناتنا كلنا. والله قدرنا to do more and more and more, and more people can join it, and this becomes very, very huge part of Sudan in a way that makes a lot of a difference. Inshallah. Ya Rab.
Yeah,
Inshallah.
that's beautiful, Rasha. I just want to like
Beautiful.
point that out, is that, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Thank
within
you.
our organizations, we are doing collaboration, but this panel itself is a big collaboration. This is
That's
what
it.
the panel
That's
is.
Good
So support
collaboration.
any
Yes,
organization
yes,
here, you know,
yes.
Philaheart, SDN, Sudan is Safe, we're all working for the same stuff in Nihaya. It's to help people
That's
for
it.
Sudan,
That's
for
it.
support,
Yes, for the
money,
same cause.
donation,
Yes.
sharing, posts,
I
anything.
mean,
This is the point of
Share.
this. So, yep.
it's
Tell your
it's
friends and
beautiful you
family.
pointed that out,
It really is
Ali.
beautiful.
It really is beautiful, and Rasha, like, thanks for saying that, because it just literally like pushes unify all over this
Manduri, انت لسه ما
panel, right?
حللتها؟
Listen, I'm about to in a bit, like in والله يعني what you
مندي
said.
حلل صيامك
No, you
وأدعي
have to
لنا
تحلل.
also.
You see the unified, the energy that you guys are emanating. This just, I forgot that I'm hungry. Like in, honestly, Ali, like Rashad, like Muhammad, Tabarak, everything you've just said, and Hala, it's been an incredible panel discussion. Just want to literally touch upon what Rashad said about, you know, like if you donate, you're helping the cause, and it's beautiful because it not only preaches unity, but at the same time it makes you realize that we're not in competition with one another, right? No org is in competition with one another. We're all aiming for the same goal at the end of the day, and that is the root of collaboration. So this this panel discussion has been really informative. I think I've been just writing notes literally of everything you guys have said, and the high level summary is that collaboration is not about you. It's not about a single entity. It's about the cause. When you're partnering up with other entities, it's about the goal. It's no longer about you. If you want to have a healthy collaborative relationship, seek to bring people involved in your initiative. Seek to really present them the cause, because it's that personal touch that makes someone really relate to what you're trying to do, and it keeps them invested both mentally, like, but also financially, in actually helping to support the cause in the long term. And for that to happen, you need to be very transparent with what you're doing. Transparent in a day where there's been so much fraud cases happening around the world, particularly during this time actually of quarantine. The need to be transparent and very, very honest with where your funds are going is so important, because there's so many GoFundMe links and fundraisers out there at the moment. So if you want people to actually donate to your cause, you need to build that credibility, and you can do that by being transparent. And I think every single one of you guys on this panel today have done an incredible, you and your teammates have done an incredible job in keeping the public informed in terms of what you're doing and really building that trust for that amana. Ali, you really hit home when you said embrace conflict. I think, like, you know, if any, embrace it with open arms, right? It's a way to navigate through issues and actually come out on the other side actually stronger. So I think to that end, to grow as well, and to grow as people and as an entity, because at the end of the day, you're not going to agree on everything. But if you can disagree with respect, I think the kind of common word here is respect, right? Treat people with respect. Put down your pride as well. That's very important. We as Sudanese tend to be quite prideful. But yeah, putting down your pride and recognizing that you don't know all the answers, and being a good listener. I think that's something I just want to touch upon from what Tabarak has said. And really, at the end of the day, it's thinking about the bigger picture, who you're actually impacting, and that the efforts that you put in today can really yield a significant social change tomorrow. And I think the Sudan the Safe initiative having started just a month ago, managing to raise $6,000 by today. The Fill a Heart campaign and everything you've been doing, Mohammed, with your teammates, YFCD, SDN. I mean, it's a beautiful display of unity and how unity can bring around mobilization and empowerment for Sudan.
Absolutely. That was a great little summary, Mandur.
Little summary, man. You see, I speak better when I'm hungry.
I just want to say one thing because I'm gonna have to go. But
yeah,
You
I'm gonna
have to
speak,
break that fast.
very briefly. So you know, with SDN, in terms of SDN, the pillars that we've got, the 3 pillars are unify, mobilize, and empower. And I think this panel discussion, like, has done just that. And I think when we wrote those, I don't think we were. This was the goal. This really was the goal. And I think there's one saying that's united we stand and divided we fall.
And did we fall?
Hearing like all the organizations supporting each other, because there is one common goal. Like, we all have this huge love for Sudan, and it's massive. And I hearing all of you speak, like it really is beautiful. And I think may Allah reward you all for all the efforts that you are doing, because it's beautiful and it's inspiring. It's just, I don't have the words to even express like how I feel, but I just want to say, like, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. It's, you know, like, it's not an easy thing. It's really not easy, and you have your down days and difficult days where you just think, is it worth it? But I just want to say, like, it is. And please keep going, and like, we're all rooting for you, and we're all here to support you. And if you ever do have down days, like, you know, all of the organizations have probably gone through the same thing, and we're all here to support you. This is a collaborative effort. How many times are we going to say collaboration in this video? But it is a collaborative effort, joint effort. And like, we're all here to do that. You know, we've all got a very similar common goal. So if anyone ever feels down or stressed out and needs a minute, know that it's, you know, it's normal. It's a healthy thing to take a break if you need to take the break, and please do take the break if you need to do it, and just understand that
Take my break.
Sis took that break. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this panel discussion. It's been very interesting, and I've really enjoyed it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's been a pleasure being on this panel. Yes, it was.
Yeah, the honor's ours, man. It's been incredible. Thank you guys so much. Allah yahfizkum, inshallah.
جمعا يا رب جمعا يا رب.
آمين.
قياما مقبولا إن شاء الله.
يلا.
آمين. السلام عليكم guys.
يلا مع
السلامة.
السلامة.
Alaikum assalam. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
تصوموا بظفر آخر.